Hello, my ever-evolving souls. Welcome back to the place where we gently rebuild our lives, laugh responsibly at our chaos, and occasionally consult that mystical cat Karen for her universal approval. Before we dive in, if this podcast has ever made you breathe just a little deeper, smile a little softer, or whisper to yourself, okay, maybe I can do this, please follow, subscribe, like, leave a review, and share with someone who might need a little light today. Because joy spreads faster than gossip. And frankly, we could use a little more of that in the world. Alrighty, let's talk about smiling. Smile when no one's looking. Because you never know who is. Smile because it takes fewer muscles than frowning. Smile when you're speaking. People can actually hear your smile, even over the phone. And it changes the vibration of the conversation. Smile when you're driving. Yes, I said it. Smile at the traffic. Smile at that red light. Smile at the person in the car beside you who believes that they are completely invisible because they shut the door. It's quite funny. Okay, so here's some truth. Some days, this feels absolutely impossible. And I understand that more than anyone. Because it took me a lot of years to find my real smile. For a long time, I didn't like it. Not in photos, not in the mirror. They were all fake. Every time I saw it, I thought, why do I look like I'm pretending to be a cheerful raccoon? Because when I smiled for pictures, it felt forced. When I smiled in the mirror, it felt awkward. But the real smile, I figured out, doesn't come from your mouth. It comes from something much deeper. It comes from memory. It comes from moments. A spark of joy that is lit up from somewhere deep inside you. Those little life moments make your sparkle. That's when the smile really comes to life. Energy walks into a room before you do. I love people watching. Not in a creepy way, more in a human behavioral documentary type way. And when you watch people for long enough, you start to notice something. You can spot the people who carry joy. You can see the ones that radiate warmth. And whether or not we admit it, we all feel drawn to that energy. When someone walks into a room smiling, not overly enthusiastic, like I drank 3 energy drinks and now have the unstoppable force. No, not that kind of smile, but a soft, calm, grounded kind. People lean into that because it's warm. And especially if you're in a darker place, you might even think, what are they up to? Or secretly wonder, how do they feel that way? Because I'd love to. Because deep down, we all want to be near light. We all want to feel that light. And here's the important part. Your energy enters the room before your words ever do. People feel it immediately. And when we intentionally choose warmth, choose softness, choose to be open, it slowly begins to shift how people experience us and how we experience ourselves. I like to refer to this personal story as my trash fire season. Yeah, I said it. I met my husband at work, which is funny because my grandma always said, you'll meet the one at work or at a grocery store. I didn't know why she had such a specific theory about that, but apparently grandma had a Wi-Fi connection directly to the universe because she was right. And here's the part people don't see. When I met him, my life was an absolute trash fire. Messy divorce, emotionally unsafe environment, a total teardown and rebuild. It was one of the biggest life renovations imaginable. Walls down, plumbing exposed, drywall, dust absolutely everywhere. And when I walked into work, I smiled, I cracked jokes, I stayed upbeat, my hair was done, makeup was on point. Not because I felt put together, because I needed to feel put together. Did I feel strong? Oh, no. Did I feel like being social? Not really, but it was my job. But I also knew something important. My life didn't need to become a public sitcom where everybody watched my breakdown episode by episode. My coworkers did not need to carry me emotionally or to observe my chaos. So I showed up with warmth because I needed that environment to be positive just as much as they needed me to be. And sometimes when I got home at night, I completely collapsed, emotionally, physically, exhausted. But during the day, I put on what I now call my jacket of light. And that smile was what introduced me to the love of my life. That one energetic shift started changing everything. Not overnight, not perfectly, but slowly, one day by one day. My life slowly became safer, a little calmer, and a little brighter. And eventually, that smile stopped being something I wore and became something I felt. Can you imagine how beautiful that would be? It's been a transition. I love it. Okay, so you asked me, why smile anyway? Now let's be clear about something. You are allowed emotions. You are allowed bad days. You are allowed very human moments. This is not toxic positivity. This is intentional energy placement. There's a huge difference. You do not deny sadness. You do not bury the grief. But when you step outside into the world, you get to choose what you lead with. Sometimes that choice is as simple as putting on a smile like an armor made out of light. It's not fake, it's protective. And here's the fascinating thing. When you smile, your brain begins to believe. When you speak with a smile, people believe it. People soften. And when you smile at someone in traffic, it confuses them in the best possible way. All right, on that note, let's move into a mantra moment. Place your hand over your heart and breathe with me. Perfect. Repeat after me if you will. I put a smile on my face and I spread love everywhere I go. It is not my permanent state, but it is my chosen expression. My outward energy is joy, warm and light. And when I smile, I release love into the universe. I support myself. I believe in my strength. I can get through anything. And so it is. God bless. Do you want to try it one more time? Because that feels pretty good. That's empowering stuff. I put a smile and I spread love wherever I go. It is not my permanent state, but my chosen expression. My outward energy is joy, warmth, and love. When I smile, I release love into the universe. I support myself. I believe in my strength, and I can get through anything. And so it is. Oh, I feel so blessed. Time for a journaling moment. Let's reflect honestly. Number 1, when I've gone out with a grumpy or closed-off expression, how did my day unfold? 2, when I showed up lighter, what changed? 3, how has smiling or not smiling shaped my past experiences? You can actually make 2 columns for that one. Number 4, what might shift in my life if I practiced intentional warmth? 5, if I did this consistently for myself, how would I feel? I want to remind you, no judgment here, just right, just let it flow. And take in the awareness. Homework time. We're going to do a 7-day smile shift. Your homework this week is simple. For the next 7 days, when you leave your house, put your best energetic foot forward. Smile more than usual, speak with warmth, carry yourself intentionally. You're allowed emotions, you're allowed tough moments, but when you step out into the world, try leading with light, even if it's just 10% more than usual. There's also a bonus challenge. Smile at someone in traffic. I dare you. You get 10 extra points for that one. In closing, you never know who's watching. You never know who's noticing. If you never know what opportunity, friendship, or love story might quietly be observing your energy, you need to look. My life shifted dramatically because I chose to smile during my storm. Not because I was healed, not because I thought that I was rebuilding overnight, but because sometimes rebuilding begins with something very small. Gentle upward curve of my mouth. If this episode made you think, smile, or want to try something brave this week, please follow, subscribe, leave a review, and share for someone who needs just a little light in their life, because happiness begins with you, and sometimes it begins with a smile. Until next time, my beautiful souls, keep shining.